So let's get right into things. Again, if you want more information about Keller Williams Luxury International, stop by the booth, or afterwards, there's some materials up here you can grab. The Luxury Retreat, save the date, April 14th through the 16th. You do not have to be a member to attend, but you have to qualify. Okay, you do have to qualify based on the requirements, and that's all listed in the flyer. I am right in the middle of a cold, so I'm a little congested, but we're gonna fight through this thing, and it's gonna be a great day. As I mentioned to you, I have written a book, Luxury Listing Specialist. I have a podcast. Many of you have come up to me and say, "Oh, I've listened to your podcast." It's free. Okay, the most powerful word in marketing, by the way, is free. If you don't believe me, put something at the end of your curb. It could be junk, and you can't give it away, but if you put the sign free next to it, it'll be gone within 20 minutes probably, right? So free is really important. We're going to be talking about free content that you can provide in your local marketplace to attract opportunities. Okay, so I'm a husband, father of three. I'm an author and do a lot of these trainings. So I see a lot of familiar faces, some folks from Texas. We have 3 courses approved in the state of Texas for CE, so I do see some familiar faces here. I'm going to share with you how I went from entry-level properties just like this. My first listing ever was a condo in this building, sold for $80,000, to 3 properties similar to this right here. The property on the far left was the highest priced property for sale in Illinois, where I'm based. I am an agent. That's what makes me different than a lot of these trainers and speakers that have been there, done that, but they're not doing it in today's economy. They're not overcoming objections in today's economy. The property in the middle, if anybody watch the TV show, unfortunately they're getting a lot of press lately because of one of the actors, but anybody watch the show Empire? Okay, that house in the middle is Lucius Lyon's house on the TV show. It's the Lion's Den. So I went to the season filming premiere. Demi Moore was in one of the seasons. It was pretty cool. And then the property on the far right, we brought in $2.5 million worth of vehicles for the photo shoot and the video. And it didn't cost me anything. And I'm going to share with you today how we did that. This session is perfect for you if you're looking to work smarter, not harder. If you're looking to attract more opportunities than chase opportunities. Nothing wrong with chasing. Chasing is prospecting, lead generation. You still have to do that. But there's nothing better than attracting opportunities. You know, any NFL football fans here? Yeah. Who that? Man, I don't know who said that. I don't know what was worse, the Saints losing on that pass interference, or the Bears, my Bears, I'm from Chicago, losing on the upright and then the crossbar. But with that being said, that's, that's fair to say. I was pulling for you. So even if you're in what we call a seller's market, if you're in a seller's market, I challenge you to think a little bit differently. Even in a seller's market, at some price point, the shift occurs from a seller's market to a buyer's market, and it's usually in the luxury or maybe the ultra luxury. Okay? We're going to be covering these 3 foundations today. We're going to talk about the solid foundation. I call these pillars, 3 pillars. Building a solid foundation, building your marketing blueprint. A blueprint is just like if you open up a franchise. You can't buy a McDonald's franchise and say, you know what, I think I'm going to put the red arches up there, right? Systems into place, a blueprint. Kind of like the expansion model, right? If you're organized, you got systems, you got lead generation, you can do these expansion models in other cities and be very successful at it. And number 3, we're going to talk about positioning power, how to attract more opportunities, positioning power. Number 1, as I mentioned, the solid foundation. Now, I don't know what part of the country everybody's in, but I'm based in the Chicagoland market, as I mentioned earlier, and basements are popular. And, you know, Texas, you got foundations, but even foundations or a basement, if you build a house on a weak foundation, there's a lot of negative side effects that can occur. Well, we're talking about being the luxury listing specialist in your market, attracting more high-end clientele. And by the way, we'll talk about how I define luxury here in a minute, but there's luxury in every market. I'm a big believer that if you grow your if you grow your knowledge, your confidence will grow. Grow your knowledge and your confidence will grow. Okay? You'll prospect in other areas that you're not familiar with. You'll go on those appointments that maybe you've never sold a home in that market before, but you're confident enough to go on that. You see, most people will never take a chance and step outside of their comfort zone. You guys got on a plane. You're away from your family. You invested time and money to be here. So you're in that top 10% automatically. Most people will never invest in themselves. So I commend you for that. But I believe you have more knowledge, you have more confidence. You have more confidence, you have less fear. I was at the Inman, New York conference about a month ago, and there was a gal from Atlanta, Georgia there, and she came up to me and we were talking, someone introduced me. She had the opportunity to list a $10 million PGA golfer's home, and she didn't want anything to do with it. So what I want you, when you have those opportunities, to jump at it. Garbage in, garbage. No, that's what everybody tries to teach you, right? Unfortunately, it's garbage in, garbage stays. Think about it. You turn on the news lately, is it real positive and uplifting? No, it's negative. Constant negative news, CNN or Fox, whatever, doesn't matter. It's negative. Negative sells. So Jim Rohn once said you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Zig Ziglar said you hang out with 9 dead broke people, you're bound to be the 10th. So why don't you hang out with 9 overachievers, 9 top producers that rub off on you in a good way, right? You wouldn't look, I don't look like it, but I played college football in Northern Michigan Division II. I look like a kicker. I was a defensive back, but where I'm going with it is I lifted weights with the linebackers, the guys that were a lot stronger than me. But many people would rather lift with those kickers so they walk out of that weight room feeling strong because the competition was less, right? Surround yourself with top producers. Lisa Hayes said this better than I can. She said, be careful how you talk to yourself because guess what? You are listening. You know, affirmations, motivation, it's not just for the professional athletes or teenagers. I'm 44. We need to motivate ourselves. You need to have affirmations and surround yourself. Do we get kicked in the shins in this industry? You know, you ever get kicked in the shins? Very painful, right? You log on to Facebook, Nicholas, and a past client's holding up a sold sign, and guess what? They didn't use you. Has that ever happened to anybody in the last year? We got a lot of liars in this room. It's naturally going to happen. There's things you can do, put in place to prevent less of those, right? Be top of mind awareness, work your sphere, your database, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, people buy an emotion. They might walk in that open house and forget about all those newsletters and the drop-bys or whatever else you're doing. Okay, so it's going to happen. If it doesn't hurt, you're probably in the wrong business. It should sting a little bit. Okay, it should. Tony Robbins says success leaves clues. Go figure out what somebody else is successful at. Take that as a model and tweak it and make it your own. Okay, so that's what we're going to be sharing with you today, my luxury listing specialist model. Okay, we launched this certification 3.5 years ago, and we've had top producing agents, newer agents, and this is what we're going to be going into. This is probably a writer-downer for most of you. Remember earlier I said luxury, it's all relative. There's luxury in every market. So I want you to think about 2018, your book of business. Make up a nice simple number. If you sold 40 homes or 20 homes, 10, doesn't matter. Let's keep 10. 10's easy. If you sold 10 homes, I want you to look at those 10 homes and figure out which bucket, if these were 4 buckets, where could you drop those 4 sales in which of these 4 buckets? Now, not listed could be, of course, rentals or maybe bank-owned, and maybe another bucket could be ultra-luxury. But the 4 primary price points in most market are entry-level, average-priced homes, high-end homes, and luxury homes. You might say, well, how the heck do you define high-end homes? Well, I'm glad you asked. So I define high-end homes as homes that are 2 times the average sale price for your given market. 2 times. Now, median is probably a better indicator, but most human beings are terrible at math, including us real estate agents. So average is easier to calculate, okay? So high-end homes are 2 times the average sale price. Now, a step above high-end, of course, is luxury. Oh, by the way, let me give you the example. So in this case, for high-end, if the average sale price for your given market is $250,000, by the way, raise your hand if you got a seat next to you. Okay, those in the back, if you want to sit, look around. A lot of seats on this side of the room. She showered. He didn't. No, I'm kidding. All right, so high-end, 2 times the average sale price. So luxury is 3 times. So in this case, 250 times 3 is how you define a luxury home. So many times when I do this training, agents think, well, man, I have to totally go from the 250s to the 15s. Oh, that would be nice, right? But we talk about baby steps. So if you sold 10 homes last year, and let's say we dropped 6 of them in entry-level bucket, and 3 of them in the average-priced home, and 1 in the high-end bucket, well, then in 2019, we want you to sell more than 10 if possible, but if it's the same 10 and you did 6 in the average, you did 3 in the high end, and you did 1 in the luxury, that's working smarter, not harder. There's some other side benefits of that as well, which we'll go into. All right, I believe the fastest way for any agent in this room to get instant credibility from your database, your sphere, people that know you, like you, trust you, people that don't like you or trust you, is when you land that first trophy listing in your marketplace. Many people will debate this, but many people say that Michael Jordan's one of the best athletes ever, or best, competitors. GOAT, right? They use GOAT, greatest of all time. Michael Jordan's home, I'm based in Chicago, as I mentioned, has been on the market for 7+ years in my own backyard. I showed it. In September when Khalil Mack was traded to the Bears. I got a call that day. That's attracting opportunities. Okay, that's what you want, no matter where you're at. Fill in the blank. When some celebrity in your marketplace is thinking about buying or selling, you want to be in that discussion. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. But if it were easy, everybody would do it. If it were easy, everybody would do it. I'm living proof. I was a former high school PE teacher and football coach. I got a 19 on my ACT. That's not good. I got an 18 my second time. Okay? True story. That's a true story. So let's talk about the 7 benefits. We want to help you attract more opportunities in the high-end and the luxury space for your given market. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out there's some benefits financially to do that. But before I talk about the financial benefits, I believe that money freedom equals time freedom equals relationship freedom. I'll say that again. Money freedom equals time freedom equals relationship freedom. So if I talk about making more money, it's not about greed. It's about what can you do back in your community. Maybe bring on another staff member. Maybe take some more time off. Maybe delegate some of the entry level and average price leads to a team member, and you just focus on the high end and luxury. So working smarter, not harder. You earn higher paychecks. It's more profitable. Better return on your investment and better return on your impression. That's what ROI square stands for. Impression and investment. Better referrals. Better time off. You get more time off, Credibility, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Now, I tell people all the time, I do a lot with videos and so forth, hey, we still do cute and small. So in other words, we'll still help out the $100,000 short sale condo or whatever it might be. So hopefully, I know I got in this business to help people. So I'm not going to spurn my back on anybody based on price point. Now, I might delegate to a team member that we've trained, bless you. All right, let's talk about misconceptions. But Mike, I've only been licensed for X amount of years. Or Mike, I don't live in a nice house. These are all, I call misconceptions, but fill in the blank. These are what we call excuses. It doesn't matter where you grew up or what house you live in now or if you have debt. These are all limiting beliefs and excuses that people have. You don't need to drive a nice car. Now, somebody did say during one of the breaks, they said, Well, you don't mean I can drive up in a beater, do you, on a $2 million listing appointment in my... Well, that's exceptions to the rule. You do want to look the part. I typically don't wear ties on a lot of my listing appointments. But that's where I'm at. I built my business where there's enough social proof out there where you can... Now, I look presentable, but until you get there, you have to maybe look a little bit more... fake it till you make it a little bit. But borrow some credibility from other team members, other people in your office that have success. Talk to them. Hey, Ty, great job on selling 123 Elm Street. Would you mind if I do a video talking about how you just set the record in the market if I tag you and I list you in the video? You know? So let's face it, most human beings are lazy by nature. They're scrolling through their Facebook and they see a picture of me with this house giving Ty all the credit in the world, and they don't even hit the unmute button, and they thought I sold the house. I'm not suggesting you mislead anybody. Don't mislead anybody, okay? But my point is, power of association. There's things you can do to break out of your shell, out of your comfort zone. Again, raise your hand if you have an open seat. There's a lot of seats over here if you're still looking. All right, we talked about grow your knowledge and your confidence will grow. Number one, knowledge. Know the ins and outs of Keller Williams. If you're a luxury member, know the ins and outs of the luxury division. Grow your knowledge. Because guess what? Okay, Moses. How you doing, Moses? So I got Moses and Sabrina here. They might be on a listing appointment and they don't realize it, but the seller's interviewing both of them. And Moses talks about Keller Williams, Keller Williams, Keller Williams. And Sabrina talks about Keller Williams, but also what makes her different and unique. Your unique value proposition. She talks about both Keller Williams and her. I had this happen all the time where if you just focus on your brand and the team, but not necessarily about what you're passionate about, then many times they're going to go with the person that brings value to the table as an agent. Because I'm sold on Keller Williams. But man, you sold me on you as an agent. So you need to know what makes you as an agent different. They call that a unique value proposition. Why should I hire you over somebody else? Or why should I pay you 6% when I could hire someone at 4%? Does that make sense? So know knowledge of your company. Know your client. Does anybody here do what I call a social media scrub? You're not stalking them, but you're looking at your client, you're Googling them, you're checking out their profile to see what their likes and their interests are. You know, Theodore Roosevelt once says, nobody cares how much you know until they know you care. Has anybody lost an appointment in here, a listing or a client, and you saw who they went with, and you're like, oh man, I'm more aggressive, I'm a better marketer? That happened to me early in my career. I'm a DI, okay? I'm a high driver. And so I want to just get right into it, right? But if you take the time and build rapport and be more likable, and so know your client, the social media scrub. You're a football fan, okay? So is it Stu?
I'm actually a Saints fan, sure.
All right. He's stumping me up here. But if I'm going on an appointment and I'm seeing that he's a Saints fan, we're going to talk football a little bit. Okay, and there's different things you can do if they're not on social media. When you're getting a tour of the home, you're checking out family pictures, degrees, cars they drive, trying to build affinity, finding some kind of common ground. Okay? Number 3, know your competition. We don't badmouth the competition. Code of ethics, we don't go there. But you know them. If I'm going up against Compass and I know they're tech, well, guess what? We're tech. Right? You're talking about technology. You need to know what they think makes them different and unique. So you can combat that, if you will. Not in a combative way, but be prepared. Number 4, know what gives you the advantage versus your competition and being able to explain it simple. Articulate it. Okay, the power of demonstration. The power of demonstration. On ESPN, you watch ESPN, there's Flex Tape Seal, the guy that cuts a boat, a big box in the boat and puts tape down and drives it over shark-infested waters. That's power of demonstration. I go on a listing appointment because we do a lot of these lifestyle videos with drones and actors and cars, and I bring the video book. And I give example after example, 10-inch monitor, upload your own videos. power of demonstration. I'm not just telling them we're going to do a video, I'm showing them examples. Okay, we are in a show and tell industry. Know the market, know the numbers. One of the ways you can grow your confidence is read these various free reports that are out there. Is there good information out there? Yeah, I'm not with Coldwell Banker, but Coldwell Banker Global Luxury just released their 2019 luxury report. Guess what? It's free to download. I downloaded. I want to get different insights, different perspectives. That's how you grow your knowledge. And when someone asks you a question, you can be prepared. So there's just tons of great free information out there. Okay, and of course, number 6, people skills, be likable. Number 7, you have to be able to overcome objections and that sort of thing, but that just comes natural if you know your information. Great visuals. I use a lot of visuals in my presentation. I'm hopefully demonstrating what you need to do. I was a former teacher. You got to use a lot of visuals when you're on a buyer's appointment or a listing appointment. But you got to keep it really simple graphs. You got left brain, right brain. The S and the C, especially the C's, they're analytical, they're skeptical by nature. So here's just some examples of that. As I mentioned earlier, in every market, the shift occurs from a seller's market to a buyer's market at some price point. And when you get to that price point, you can't do the same things as everybody else. Albert Einstein defines that as insanity. There's a lot of people in the luxury space that do the same thing over and over again. I call that reactive marketing. Throw it on the computers and wait for somebody else to sell the listing. Okay? You need to be outside the box. You need to be aggressive. You need to be objectionable. In other words, you have to bring other team members to take a look at the property as well and say, hey, what are your thoughts? Am I missing something here? Joan Blinn from Texas, she came through our certification class about 1.5 years ago, and she had this to say. Basically, she would have never gone on a $1 million listing appointment before our training, and within 60 days, Joan was calling me for a $5.1 million expired because of those limiting beliefs that we help break down. Okay, and that's what we want to do with you. All right, what are some free ways that you can grow your confidence and start to feel comfortable? We got room, come on in. We got some seats over here, a lot of seats. Just if you see a hand raised, that means you can sit next to them. Unless they didn't shower, then put your hand down. I'm kidding. All right, so what you can do, go to other team members or go to other broker opens in the area for high-end and luxury homes. Walk through them. I'm amazed on how many agents are just uncomfortable even doing that. So that's non-threatening. It's a broker open. Do me a favor, though. Don't be one of those agents that just goes for the free food and bolts, Walk, fill out the survey, give your honest feedback. Those are some things you can do. So attending luxury events, if there's events at an agent in your marketplace or in your office, maybe work some open houses for team members, or maybe someone that's not even on your team. These are all examples. So when I teach our certification class, we always tell agents our goal within a year is for you to increase your average sale price. We want you to make 30% more over the next year. There's ways you can do that. Sell more homes. The second way is increase what you charge. Now, I know what the Sherman antitrust law says, so I'm not telling anybody what to charge. But by a show of hands, who wants to be the cheapest agent in your market? Raise them up proudly. Anybody? Yeah. So just during lunch, somebody was talking to me in the luxury space. They said, Mike, do you find that many agents, discount? I said, unfortunately, yes. But if you bring more value to the table, if you differentiate yourself, if you talk about what makes you different and unique, you shouldn't have to compete by lowering your fee. I have a $10 million listing in my market. I'm going to use this here. In my market, if you were to pull 20 random listing agreements below $1 million, the most common total commission, listing commission, would be around 5%. The most common. You'll see some 6s, maybe 7s, some 4s, but the most common. Above $1 million, you probably see more 4s and 4.5s. People, unfortunately, compete by lowering your fee. Well, Mike, how do you overcome that? Well, on a listing appointment, when I'm building rapport, I don't talk fees up front, of course. But if they ask, I'll tell them, Chuck, I can tell you I'm by far going to be the most expensive agent you're going to interview, But I'm going to share with you today how you're going to net more money because of superior marketing. Most high net worth individuals don't mind paying if they get a good experience and you're doing service, you're differentiating, the Ritz-Carlton experience, right? And then increase your average sale price. This is what, I know it's hard to read for some of you, but that's what a 30% raise would look like. If your average sale price is $200 and you can go to $260 in the next year, that would be a 30% raise. You can make 30% more just by increasing your average sale price. We're in a commission-based industry. $300 to $390, $500 to $650, and so on. So we're not telling you to go from $200,000 to $800,000. Oh, that would be nice. I'd love that, right? And you would too. But baby steps. This is feasible by everybody in this room by just adding some more high-end and luxury into those various buckets. Roger Bannister, he was the first person ever to run the mile under 4 minutes. He passed away March of this year, or 2018, so just under a year ago. Do you realize that within 2 years, 37 others ran that same mile under 4 minutes? It wasn't because Nike came out with these nice, comfortable shoes, or Gatorade came out with this energy drink. No, it was if Roger did it, so can I. So I hope to be that living testament for you, that a guy that got a 19 on his ACT, if I'm doing it, so can you. So column number 1 is about the foundation. The foundation is your mindset. You might have come in here saying, Mike, I'm looking for some magical website and some thingamajigger, and you've just been talking about mindset so far. Guess what? Yeah, that's the foundation. You have to believe in yourself to be able to do it because you might get some doors slammed. You might get the first two listing opportunities and they say, no, I want someone with more experience. Are you going to give up or are you going to say, I'm going to prove them wrong? Prove them wrong. All right, number 2, the marketing blueprint. This is the second column. We're talking about the marketing blueprint. How are we doing on time out there? What time is it? We're doing awesome on time. Perfect. Good. We're at 2:45, so we're where we need to be. Marketing blueprint. My tagline, it's not the market, it's the marketing. Don't buy into the doom and gloom. People are getting married. That's what drives our business. Unfortunately, people get divorced. People are relocating. People are dying. That's what drives your industry, our industry. It's not who the president is, what gas prices are doing. Okay? Don't believe that stuff. Now, this is my only comment about politics. Somebody once asked Michael Jordan, why doesn't he talk politics? And do you know what his answer was? Because Republicans buy sneakers too. So if you're out there and you're an anti-Trumper putting all this stuff, and you might have some relocation client that does a social media scrub on you, you might have just lost an opportunity. Now, I'm Italian. I wear it on my sleeve. I'm a driver. It's hard for me not to voice my opinion when I believe in something. But you got to learn on social media to try to be neutral with that. Okay? Talking about luxury. You might have international clientele. You know, in China, for example, after Donald Trump was elected president, the first year Cadillac sales in China skyrocketed by over 60% because Cadillac used an old ad from 1978. It was black and white with Donald Trump leading up against his Cadillac. They respect the position of presidency, okay? So I'm not pro or negative on anybody. I'm just telling you that you have to be neutral with politics if you really want to take it to the next level. Now, if you say, hey, I'm going to wear it on my sleeve, you either like me or God bless you. Okay, it's my suggestion. But don't think like a real estate agent. Think like a marketer. Anybody remember the late night infomercial, ShamWow? Oh, yeah. That goofy guy that sells some towel that absorbs a 2-liter bottle of Coke if you spill it? You know what I'm talking about? The guy's memorable. So you can blend in like everybody else, or you can differentiate yourself. So, for example, on listing appointments, on luxury listing appointments, come on in. We got room. Raise your hand if you got a spot next to you. All right, look for a hand raised, and we have a lot over here. On listing appointments, I used to show up with my stager. Show up differently. So if you're going into an area you're not comfortable with, stepping outside of your comfort zone, you're a male, show up with a female. You're a female, bring a guy on your team to the listing appointment. You're white, bring someone of a different skin color than you. Show up different. I'm telling you, there's strength in numbers. Your confidence will grow. If you're a newbie agent, bring an older agent. If you're an older agent, bring that newly licensed, hey, Steve, listen, no, play with me here, 5 days, okay? So Steve, do me a favor. I want you to nod a lot, take some notes, okay, but don't say anything, okay? I'm kidding around, of course, but those are some suggestions I always tell agents. If you're going into an area, and ladies and gentlemen for that matter, safety, you got to consider safety, of course, but that's one of the ways you build your confidence a little bit. Strength in numbers. Now, I wouldn't suggest you bring your, all 8 team members on the listing appointment, but, hey, if you want to do it, do it. Okay? So those are all some little subtle ways you can do it. I'd show up with my stager. We'd build rapport, build rapport, build rapport, build rapport, and then I'd ask the seller. I'd give a lot of examples. I have a lot of examples to show you today. And most of the times, of course, they're going to say, yeah, I'm open to some ideas that she has if she thinks it's going to increase my likelihood to sell because I'm going to neutralize and get a larger pool of buyers interested in the home. Sure, I'm open to that. I was selling a home that had over 100 animals in it. Now, they were not alive. They were dead. It looked like a taxidermist house. You had the moose head over here, and you had a bobcat, like that, My point is, the previous agent said, oh, that's fine. People can see past it. No, they can't. But most agents are terrible at articulating that, Nicholas, I love your moose head there, but that might offend some folks. Most people are terrible at being honest, right? So there's a way you can do that. I put together these 17 before and after books of different style of homes. Left picture on the left is the before. The big picture on the right is the after. Come on in. We got room. We've got some seats over here. There's a young lady trying to get in behind you there. All right. You scared her off. But different themes. So when I'm going on an appointment, I bring out the examples, the case studies. And this is, if I were a team leader, what I would be doing, I would look back at the sales that we've had that either other agents failed at selling. You got any of those in your market? Anyone work canceled, expireds? Okay, if you were Ozzy, man, I got some cool names here. I got Moses and I got Ozzy in the front row. Okay, but Ozzy, if I'm going on the appointment and I have a similar situation and I sold a home that a guy, 2 or 3 agents couldn't sell, I'm going to talk about what we did differently. This is a writer-downer. How we position your home. Position. Position is much more than just staging a home. It's accentuating the best features and downplaying the least favorable. And if I had more time, I could go into it, but I'm going to stick around. Okay, so how do you define insanity when it comes to real estate? As Albert Einstein says, it's doing the same things as everybody else. Again, in most markets, that luxury, those homes aren't moving quickly. So don't do as everybody else. And how many people have seen a classic movie with Robert De Niro, Meet the Parents? Remember the circle of trust? It's very difficult to penetrate the circle of trust for high net worth individuals. Is it not? They're closely guarded. You got a listing in McKinney, Texas. It's on 3 acres, and John's landscaper charges $50 to cut those 3 acres. That same landscaper goes over to the gated community in McKinney and charges $75 for the 1/4 acre. Like a lot less grass to cut, but they charge a premium. So get inside the mindset of a high net worth individuals. They've been taken advantage of. They're closely guarded. So let's get into some practices on how to do that. This is most trusted professionals. Now, not listed at number 36 is sex workers. We're just above sex workers as being some of the most trusted professionals. That was it will come to me here. I like citing my sources. It'll come to me. But 29. So you need to know that. You need to know that consumers look at us as TV reporters, basically, journalists. We're not a trusted professional. So how do you build trust? How do you attract opportunities? Now we're talking about being the specialist, attracting more high-end and luxury opportunities in your market. Again, you got to penetrate that circle of trust. So let's talk about ways. The good news is there's a lot of traditional agents doing the same thing as everybody else. All right. The most listened to radio station out there, write this down, I checked. It's the same in Houston as it is in Greenville, and it's the same in Grand Junction, Colorado. And that is WIIFM. This is a really complicated topic I'm talking about right now, but I'm being serious. The most listened to radio station that your prospective client listens to, and your current client for that matter, is What's in It for Me. If you're talking to a seller, all they care about, what are you going to do to get my home sold faster for more money, less aggravation, so I can net more money. Is that true? And if I'm a buyer, what are you going to do to find me that, if it's a hot market and there's no properties, what are you going to do to find me that off-market property, that gem, and get it for the best deal possible? So when you're creating a marketing piece, whether it be online, a digital ad, Facebook, retargeting, a print ad, a video, you have to remember with them, what's in it for me? That's all they care about. Now, the radio station you should listen to is AAT, all about them. Listen, ask questions, figure out their why. When I sold that taxidermist home with over 100 animal heads, I asked her, quite frankly, why are you selling? And she wanted to be with her daughter in Franklin, Tennessee. So I shared with her that we're going to have such a larger pool of buyers if she neutralized. Some people are going to be offended, but most people can't see past. Okay, write this down real quick. It's not a slide, but only 10% of buyers can visualize. 10. So said differently, 90% only see the way the home is presented online or the way the photos look. 90%. And as bad as that is, 90% of us real estate agents can't visualize. So it's our job to take things off the table. When I'm marketing a home, I want to make this such a silver platter experience for the buyer's agent. No offense if you're a strict buyer's agent out there. By the way, the name of our course in our book is Luxury Listing Specialist. Listings are the name of the game. Okay, maybe you've heard some different sayings. A sign in the yard is better than in the car, whatever. But listings is the name of the game. And when you build your listing inventory, guess what? The buyers will come, just like the Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner. Build your listing inventory. You field more online inquiries, more sign calls, that sort of thing, internet leads. But when I'm putting together our marketing plan, I have to assume the buyer's agent didn't read the remarks. They didn't read the showing instructions. They didn't download all the special features, right? You have to assume all this and make them look good in front of their clients. But the most listened to radio station that your prospective clients listen to is WIIFM. That's just a little nugget, but if you apply that to everything you're doing, you'll think, how can I bring more value to my clients? Who are your clients? Someone thinking about buying a home or selling a home. It's real simple if you look at it. Maybe you do rentals and you do property management. You can add that in there. We want you to attract versus chase. So there's two forms of marketing, really simple. Cold marketing and warm marketing. Cold marketing is prospecting, lead generation, door knocking, canceled and expireds. I'd send this silver platter in the mail to canceled and expired listings with a nice letter, serving you a higher selling price on a silver platter. I spent a lot of money on copywriting, good copy. I had a lot of visuals, testimonials. Well, that's cheesy. That won't work. Oh, yeah? I'd send bank bags. I'd send shredded money. Now, I'm just sharing with you things that I did. Now, in your personality type, You might say, this doesn't work for me, and that's okay. I'm just giving you a lot of ideas. But there's some misconceptions that you got to be very stuffy and proper to be a luxury agent. No, be yourself. People want authenticity. They want you to be authentic, okay? All right, so if I were to move to your town, the first 3 things that I would do to become a luxury agent in your marketplace, and remember, luxury is all relative. I was doing a training in Crown Point, Indiana. Anyone from Indiana in the room? Average sale price, it was for, it'll come to me, but it wasn't a KW office. Average sale price was $167. After the training, she came up to me and said, I'm glad I came. I was a little hesitant because we don't have the $1 million plus properties here. But based on your 3X, 167 times 3, we have a lot of 525 and above. So again, luxury is all relative. So the first thing I would do is I would start a networking group. If you have a seat next to you that's open, raise your hand. Okay, look around if you want to see it. We have some people. This is a packed room. I love it. So I would start a luxury networking group, which I'm going to go into details. Remember I told you earlier I got $2.5 million of vehicles for a photo shoot at a property, and it cost me nothing? It was a luxury networking group, which I'm going to give you some examples. Number 2, I would hire a coach, invest in a mentor, or be on a luxury team and just follow them around, work their open houses, work their scraps, so to speak, which are still pretty better than most. And number 3, I would work with builders, canceled, expireds, I told you. We do these mailers, for sale by owners. When everybody else is doing first-time homebuyer seminars, guess what? You should be doing seller seminars, thinking about selling in 2019. I would do for sale by, I teamed up with a little boutique bank, and I would do for sale by owner seminars. We'd bring in a stager, an inspector, an appraiser, the whole team of experts to tell them what they needed to do. 9 out of 10 were so overwhelmed, they hired an agent within 30 days. But who are they going to hire? Ozzy, if they just drop off a car and say, hey, call me when you're ready to list. Or, and sometimes agents get mad when they say, no, I'm not going to list with you. Who are they going to list with? Somebody like that, or somebody that rolls up the sleeves and wants you to be successful. Nicholas, you might be, I'm going to address the elephant in the room here, Nicholas. You might be saying, why is a licensed real estate agent giving me some tools to be successful? Well, I know statistically it's very difficult to sell your home by owner, but I hope you are successful, and if you are, you're moving to Jacksonville. I have an agent there that's rock star. If you haven't found an agent there, I'd love to refer him to you. So even you can get a referral fee. But and then I also asked, Nicholas, how long are you going to give it before you explore other options and think about increasing your marketing?
Maybe about
30 days. Do you have a close friend or relative that you feel obligated to market your home with after those 30 days?
Well, I have a license too. I'm licensed as well.
You're licensed, okay. Well, okay, well, did you notice you didn't put agent owned on the sign? That's a code of ethics violation. Okay, all right. You know, I like it. You got a role play, and he threw that at me. I love it, but you didn't have that on your sign. Okay, all right. So anybody like free in here? Okay. If you want this free luxury blueprint, just go to luxurylistingblueprint.com. Don't do it now, please, but just write it down. Luxury Listing Blueprint. I will share with you this blueprint to help you get more leads, conversion, but I'm also going to share with you what's called a 56-point video checklist. We're going to talk about video here in a second. Video is not a fad. Fads come and go. Video's here to stay. Okay, video's here to stay. By a show of hands, how many of you are consistently, by consistently, I'm going to say twice a month, putting educational type videos out there, tips for buyers, tips for sellers, or market updates? Be honest, don't raise your hand to fit in. Okay, look around. I'd say 1 in 10. Okay? How many of you have done a Facebook Live from a luxury home before? That's good. We got about a third of the room. So maybe Moses is the listing agent. Okay, he's on the team. Say, Moses, before the broker open, I'm going to say, hey, Moses, I'm going to be coming by today. Do you mind if I do a Facebook Live and talk about the home, and I'll tag you and give you credit, of course? Would you mind? All right, so you can, this is my camera now. So, hey, it's Michael LaFido at Keller Williams. We're at 123 Elm Street. Behind me, you see this amazing home. Moses is the listing agent. He's doing an amazing job. He's a rock star agent. And this house features A, B, C, D. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Most people won't even listen, but they'll see you in front of this amazing home, and you might just remind some people that are in your database, that they stand over the mail and they throw your mailer out every month, but that visual reminder. It's called top-of-mind awareness. Top-of-mind awareness. That's an example of a free video you can do by going to other people. Always give permission, always tag and promote. I had an agent in our office promote this $6 million listing of mine, didn't tag me, nor ask permission. You can't just tag someone, got to get their permission, okay? So again, in a buyer's market, you can't do the same things as everybody else. So bring value, ways you can bring value in your marketing efforts. Remember, what's the most listened to radio station that consumers that are thinking about buying or selling listen to? With them. What's in it for me? So market updates. Market updates could be, hey, here we are, February of 2019. How are home prices doing in Greenville, South Carolina, compared to February of 2018? Okay, or Houston, Texas, or wherever you might be. Okay? Tips for buyers. Tips for buyers. Tips for sellers. Commonly asked questions. Does any agent in the room get a lot of the same questions throughout the transaction? So why wouldn't you put that on a video? I call it evergreen. And then when you have that scenario, hey, Jill, your scenario comes up a lot. I'm going to send you a video that goes over all the nuances once you're under contract or whatever it might be. Okay? Case studies, highlights. So you could do these things in print or video or digital. Okay, that's content marketing. Content marketing. This next slide is what a buck slip. You ever go to your mailbox and you got coupons from the local cleaner or pizza joint? I send this out to every town. Excuse me, I don't do it anymore, but every house in my town, Wheaton, Illinois. Look at the headline. Why is building a new construction home more affordable? This was from 2016 than it was 10 years ago. That's content marketing. That's a market update. Okay? That's a market update. Okay, I believe a picture's worth 1,000 words. Now this right here is my middle child, Vinny the Bulldozer. As a kid, when he was crawling around, he led with his head and pushed things out of the way, and we nicknamed him the Bulldozer, okay? This was a picture, he's in second grade. This is a picture when he was in first grade, and my wife called me, and she was laughing. It was around 3:30, 3:45. She doesn't always laugh when she calls, okay? So this is a good sign. Long story short, it was show and tell. Do you remember show and tell as a kid? You looked forward to it. You circled that thing. You saved it. He was supposed to bring something with the letter M. Well, he brought my Moscow Mule mug to show and tell. A copper mug like this is known for an alcoholic beverage. And luckily, Miss Carson had a good sense of humor, and and nobody was called. But we are in a show and tell industry. Think about it. Are we not in a show and tell industry? Just listed, just sold. Just sold is the most powerful word in marketing. Sold sign. Are you canvassing the neighborhood of just sold? I hope so. Even if you represent the buyer, you can send out just sold. Now, I like to disclose and turn that into a positive. We represented the buyer. John Smith at XYZ Realty represented the seller. But turn that into a positive. We have other buyers. If you're thinking about selling, we might have the buyer for you. That's a positive. That's what they care about. All they care about is that you have a buyer. Okay? Case studies. Now, this is where you can leverage your team or other KW agents in the marketplace. You can leverage the luxury division. So even if you don't have these sales, again, with proper disclosure and asking permission, but if you're a team leader, I'd put together some of the best case studies that your team has ever had, and I'd put together them in a nice print and digital format so that others could use it and borrow, go to the library and say, oh, I got a big appointment coming up. I have a historic home here. The previous agent just talked about the history. Any golfing fans here? Okay, this was Charles Blair McDonald's home. He's the founder of golf, many people say, in North America. He created the Chicago Golf Course, which is the oldest golf course in North America. I just sold his home. The previous agent focused on the history. I golfed once last year. If I was buying this home, I wouldn't give a rat's patootie about the history. I want to know about the lifestyle, the tennis courts for my kids, the swimming pool. You're not just selling bricks and mortar. You're selling lifestyle and the location and the schools and everything that comes with it. Okay, so that's just one example, and I have lots of others if I had more time. What time is it, by the way? 2:20? All right, we got 25 minutes. We're doing excellent on time. So here you go. Here's like a postcard or a Polaroid. Remember Polaroids back in the day, the old Polaroid camera? By the way, Kodak hasn't adapted very well, and they're like on life support. I grew up on Friday nights looking forward to Blockbuster. That's where all the girls hung out. Blockbuster didn't adapt. Neither did Toys R Us. I grew up a Toys R Us kid. So disruption is real, but you guys are here. You're learning from the best. Okay? You're rubbing elbows. Yeah, go give yourself a round of applause. Yeah. So you need to develop these and then leverage these. And if you haven't sold it, Whitney, but a team member did, leverage hers. With permission, of course. Okay? So many of you have record sales. Now, here we are, February 6th, 18th. Maybe you just sold the highest sale price in Grand Junction in 2019 for a particular community. Well, you might say, well, Mike, we're only a month and a half into this. Well, it's a baby success. Leverage it. Put that on there. This was the highest sale since 2009 on that taxidermist home. This is an example. Anybody in here sell a home where you represented the seller and it sold for more than it appraised out? You should be telling everybody, I sold the home for more than it's worth. I mean, maybe not that way, but don't say that. You're going to get the buyer's aid, but never talk about that if you represent the buyer. Yeah, we paid over asking price. Woo! Here's another one. You have your own. I'm just giving you examples. Again, show and tell. We're in a show and tell. We're in the Instagram world today. Swipe left, swipe right, swipe up, swipe down. There's the canceled and expired mailers I told you about. So let's talk about the luxury networking group. All right, so real quick, B&I groups. This is many people know B&I groups or referral groups. So I was a chamber member in Hinsdale, Illinois. There was more million-dollar sales in Hinsdale, Illinois a couple years ago than any town in Illinois. The former Chicago Bulls coach that got fired this year, Fred Hoiberg, lives there. The former Chicago Blackhawks coach that got fired this year lives in Hinsdale. Okay? See a theme there. But my point is the chamber president came up to me and said, hey, we have another Heroes group developing. Heroes stood for something. It's like a B&I group. Do you want to lead it? I said, well, tell me more information. Okay, great. Yeah, we meet weekly. We meet at the chamber office, but the chamber office was in the basement of an old building. We meet weekly. We'll have someone take attendance. We'll have someone do this. Well, you only know me for an hour. You could already tell that I'm a little bit ADD-ish. That was way too much structure for me, and I couldn't commit to that. So I said over to Andy, who did high kitchen remodels, I said, Andy, why don't we create our own group? So long story short, we started the luxury networking group about 4 years ago, and I've had agents across the country implement this, and it's something that all of you can do. You can do it on a $0 budget. You can be a newly licensed agent. You can be somebody that doesn't have a lot of money, and you're not a top producing agent, and you can still do this. What's the best way to get referrals? Give referrals. Lead with a giving hand. When you leave here today, if somebody opens the door for you, you feel obligated to keep it open for the person behind you. That's called reciprocity. Okay? So if you put a group together that they look forward to every month, you're going to be the rainmaker. You're like the CEO of the leads group. So I know it's hard to read, but the left bullet points are basically the benefits for you. The right bullet points are basically examples. So we put together, and I recommend you start a luxury networking group. A luxury networking group, it deals with business owners or individuals that are in the inner circle of high net worth individuals. Most of them are business owners, or they cater to them, i.e. the Ferrari dealership, men's clothing, a CPA, an attorney, a stager, home theater. I've referred a $230,000 home theater for that $10 million Empire House. The guy put a that was to my guy. Okay, so these are all examples. Okay, these are all examples. Here's what it looks like right here. This was a property I was selling, and I'm going to give you speed bullet points here. Okay, I recommend either a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or Thursday, because Monday and Fridays just don't work good, and you don't want to do it on a weekend. So Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, one of those days. You know your market better than I do. 4 to 6 p.m. or 6 to 8. 4 to 6, 6 to 8. Again, I have young kids. 6 to 8 doesn't work for me, so I'm the CEO. 4 to 6, right? It's your group. You make the rules. Once a month you meet. Once a month. Now, we have a lot of holiday parties, Christmas parties, etc. So we combine November and December's, okay? So now we're down to 12 months in a year. We just did a combination, so now we're doing 11 events a year. Now for me, I like taking 2 months off in the summer. It's hot, and depending on where you're at. So we take June and July off in my market. So I do 9 luxury networking events a year. Top of mind awareness, though. I'm bringing a group of people that service high net worth individuals together. We're having fun. We sometimes bring in guest speakers. We have them at fun locations. What's up, Mike? How you doing? Good. All right, good to see you. So here's an example. Okay, so let's just say right here, this is the group. It really consists of these, so let's just say it's 4 to 6 p.m. You guys are at my $10 million listing. You guys are coming in. Hey, everybody, good to see you. We're going to get started promptly at 4:30. We got food in the kitchen. We're giving some tours of the home. Look forward to get started promptly at 4:30. So you're just kind of making that announcement. You have other team members there. 4:30 starts. Welcome, everybody. Michael LaFido. I'm kind of like the CEO of this group. I see a lot of familiar faces here and some guests. Again, if you ever think there would be a great guest to this group, just run it by me. By the way, they run it by you. Why? Well, because you're the CEO, but because you don't want competition there. You don't want other real estate agents there. This is not Noah's Ark. We're not doing 2 of a kind here. You know? Now, you could have a commercial guy there if you're a residential guy, or I got a builder that does $2 million and above, and I got a builder that does $1 million to $850 in a different area or whatever. That's why they got to check with you. And if you're not sure, you just ask the other person. Hey, John, I got this other builder from so-and-so. He does this. Is that the same clientele or different? Oh, no. Just keep it simple. All right. So you do introductions. So I'm going to demonstrate real quick. Hey, everybody, we're going to get started here. Michael LaFido, thanks for coming to this month's meeting. You'll be getting an email tomorrow with next month's location and all the details. I'm going to demonstrate to you the introductions. I think this is the most powerful part of this networking. Sure, you guys have a good time, exchange cards, but this is where the X's and O's happen, so to speak. You see, in my industry, I'm in luxury real estate, some of my best ideas I've gotten outside the industry. So we're about to do introductions, and we're going to share best practices quickly in a bullet point format. And keep an open mind, because some of my best ideas come from you. And I hope that I teach you a thing or two. So my name is Michael LaFido. I'm a luxury real estate agent. My ideal client is someone thinking about buying or selling a home. Write this down here. Or they need a second opinion. If you know of anybody that their home's been on the market and they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, have them reach out to me. That's something you should add to all your marketing or your videos if you're doing videos. Second opinion, second opinion, second opinion. What's really working in my business today is video. If you're not utilizing video, you need to be. For example, we do videos of these amazing homes, and we utilize them on the video books. So video, okay? Number 4, it could be what you're struggling with. So it could be, hey, my IT guy just left town. He got relocated. Does anybody have a small IT company they can refer? So that could be what you're struggling with. Number 5 could be who I could need an introduction to. I would love to get somebody that sits on the board of advisors for a small bank, not a big bank like PNC or Chase here, but does anybody know somebody? If so, please nominate them, because that'd be a void that I think we could improve this group. Okay? So can you imagine? Let me go back. I do that. Then it's John's turn, and he talks about who he is, what his ideal client is, and what makes him different, what's working in his business, and what he could use help with. And you go all the way around in the circle. And then when everybody's done, then you do the closure. Hey, this is the time where you exchange cards. If you can help somebody or somebody can help you, don't forget we still got food in the kitchen. We're going to be giving tours. And next month we got a guest speaker or whatever it might be. Boom. That's that. Okay? I'm giving you water through a fire hose today. Is that okay? I'm trying to give you a lot of content. Is that okay? Okay. So this would be thank you. This would be a post, an example of a post. When I post something on Facebook, I like using an image that is synergistic or complements my message. So iron sharpens iron. Who do you know that I need to know? My luxury networking group is growing. Who do you know that does what they say they're going to do and caters to high net worth individuals or has luxury clientele? Please private message me. Boom. There you go. We did one at a Bentley dealership, Lamborghinis. We've had them all over. Okay? This was a client of mine that hosted one of his luxury homes. We coached him up on it. He put together a $10,000 event in 10 days. He invited his networking group and the press and all this other thing. Number 3, the third big pillar. So the first pillar we talked about today is the foundation, your mindset. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Mindset. Number 2 is the blueprint. What are you doing to fill the funnel? Okay? Thank you. What are you doing to fill the funnel? Number 3 is the positioning power. How are you going to attract more opportunities? Okay, referrals. That's what you want when you're talking about luxury. You're not in the real estate business. You're in the business of marketing your real estate business. Shy real estate agents have skinny kids. Let that sink in. Nothing wrong with skinny kids. My point is, you are in the business to network. Okay? Get out of your comfort zone. That's where the magic happens. The magic happens outside of your comfort zone. This is where the magic happens. Video. We're going to talk about video. Video's not a fad. It's not going away. Bless you. Okay? Video works. Video is simple. You can do video on a $0 budget. Okay? There's 4 reasons to use video. Differentiate yourself. Build trust, which helps increase conversion. Number 3, Google loves video. Hello, Google owns YouTube, and buyers and sellers want it. Facebook Live, that's real easy. Simply put, all you do, who does not have Facebook? Okay, it's good. Probably some of you don't, but that's all right. So you go to Facebook. You see this thing called What's on Your Mind? And then you go down, it's got photos, tag friends, check in. I got people private message me. You go live. We're going to do a quick 10-second video to get all of you off of your comfort zone. Okay? So you hit tap to add description. All right, hold on here. All right, so I had already been prepared. So we got Keller Williams Family Reunion Luxury Class. Okay? Now, right now, I'm looking at the wall. So what does that mean? That means it's not in selfie mode. So I got to... So I got to hit this little button here, and boom, there we go. So we are not live yet. This big blue button that says Start Live Video, that's when you're live. Now, there are some cool options down here. Live video, bring a friend, mystery mask, okay? It's fun. I did one in a live class once, but today we're going to do the regular one. So we're going to do a live video here. I'm going to hit this button, and it can count down. So here we go. Hey, everybody, Michael LaFido coming live from New Orleans. Everybody say hi. We are at Family Reunion. We got a jam-packed room. The fire marshals are going to be coming in here, but it's all right. We're teaching agents how to step out of their comfort zone and be the luxury listing specialist in their market. Who wants to be the luxury listing specialist? Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be Oprah today, and I'm going to be giving you a book and you a book and you a book. However, we are helping them step out of their comfort zone and bring more value to the clients. Just a reminder, if you have a high-end house, if you have a luxury home in your market and you're selling it, do your due diligence. Make sure you hire an agent that thinks outside the box. They're aggressive. And I use the old adage, iron sharpens iron. They're constantly learning and networking. My name is Michael LaFido, and remember, it's not the market, it's the marketing. See you later. So then I hit finish. And then it's going to replay it. You can probably hear it in a second. So now, okay, we were live. But now it's not on my wall until I hit share. And And now it's going to be on my wall so that people tonight could see this video later. That's how simple a live video is. So can you imagine doing a walkthrough at Moses' listing, the broker open? Okay. Can you imagine doing one of those at a coming soon? It's your listing. Can you imagine doing one of those with a client testimonial, much more believable? Can you imagine doing one from your open house? All these are examples after examples after example. This was a video we did at Coming Soon. Again, do you know what the average YouTube video has? How many views? I'll give you a book if anybody guesses it.
1, 2.
I got 3, I got 3, I got 4. I got 4. 400 views. 400. I got 1,200 views on this within a day. Within a day, for free. Okay, you can put educational videos and content, case studies, open houses, create a YouTube channel for free. Go to a website called Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. It used to be everything on there was for $5. They've kind of raised their prices lately, but still, it's a good deal. And then create a custom header on your Facebook. You are your brand. Okay, so create marketing. All right, property videos. Amazing thumbnails. Do you realize when you upload a video to YouTube, they will grab 3 images of your video during the video and pick one of them as your thumbnail? The thumbnail is the still image before you hit the big play button. But guess what? YouTube allows you to upload a custom thumbnail. So I always upload a nice custom thumbnail with the property address and my brand, my logo, ABM, always be marketing. Okay? You can do behind the scenes video. In other words, if you're going to do one of these lifestyle videos, film it. Film the cars pulling up. I had $2.5 million worth of vehicles pull up, one right after each other, and we got it on Facebook Live. Okay? You understand what makes you different and unique. So action steps, before I show you some examples of video. Action steps. Number 1, choose today to add more homes in those other buckets, those high-end and luxury. Choose today. You've got to take action. I taught high school health education to freshmen, sex ed to 15-year-olds. Okay? That wasn't easy. But what I did is I had a sign on the door that said the real test is when you walk out the door. You see, you guys have been awesome. I feel the energy. I got implementers in here. I got action takers. But I need you to take action when you get back home. So how many of you flew on a plane to come here today? So, yeah, not today, but, to the family reunion. So that's good. Why is that good? Because on your flight home, I know you might be recovering from Bourbon Street later, but on your flight home, go through all your notes from all the great speakers, prioritize on what you're going to implement in the next 30 days. Okay, I tag everything A, B, C. A is, man, I got to get it done, high priority. B is, yeah, I'd like to get it done in the next 30 to 60 days. And C's, well, it's a cool idea. I'll circle back to it maybe later. So we have a lot of content today. I want you guys to implement. The real test is when you walk out the door. Number 2, get prospects' attention and the influencers, the circle of trust. Number 3, develop data and graphs. Grow your knowledge and your confidence will grow. Own the numbers. Own them. Understand what the average price point is and what high-end and luxury. Because if I'm sitting across from Thomas and he's a seller and he says, man, I hear the market's hot, but Thomas has got a $1.2 million home and above $700,000, the shift occurs and it gets cold and there's less showings, less activity. My job is to manage his expectations before he hires me. Number 4, create unique experiences. Have fun. Number 5, build relationships. People don't care how much you know until they know you care. Number 6, incorporate video. Video. You saw that people raising their hand, 10% of people in this room are incorporating video consistently. That's an opportunity for everybody in this room. And I do this all across the country, and I can tell you it's the same. It's the same wherever I'm at. So there's a big void there. That means there's a big opportunity for you to differentiate and get noticed. Okay? Let's show some examples. Well, Mike, I don't have big houses. I got a little condo I'm selling. Well, great. Use this. This was a little condo I was selling. It was a 2-minute video. Literally, you can sneeze and the video would be done through the condo. So what did we do? We incorporated the area and the location. I knew who the buyer was, the avatar. In this case, it was probably a commuter. So I wanted to show the train in the video. We shot it on a Saturday because I wanted to show the French market. Okay? So know what makes the property unique. I'm selling a vineyard. I didn't even know they had vineyards in Illinois. I got a call from someone in Florida that said, would you mind helping us sell a vineyard? I have car, will travel is my philosophy. I drove 2.5 hours for this place. It's called the Rocky Waters Winery. By the way, you notice before the video starts, I got my brand on there, I got the website, I got our team. Look at the visuals. When you create a video, you need to have good visuals so that if they're not listening or they're just following along, they know what the heck it is they're looking at. I created 2 versions of this video. The 3.5 to 4 minute video, and this is the highlight 1 minute video. You could use this on Instagram. Most people have short attention spans, so you might consider this versus the long one. But then you tell them, if you want additional information, we can send you additional photos and videos. Upbeat music, not elevator music. When you're creating a video, think of me as your viewer. You got to get my attention in the first 3 to 5 seconds. Otherwise, I'm not going to watch it. All right, let's go here. How are we doing? What time is it? I got 5 minutes left. I got it. All right. So this right here is, let me go back. Let me go back again. This is the best opening scenes. So I put together some opening scenes from various videos. Here we go. This is my first lifestyle video. We got on cranes. We brought in a horse. We brought in 4 cars. Okay? It was a gloomy day. The videographer said, we're going to cancel. I said, don't cancel. So opening scenes, you got good bullet points. Sometimes, bedroom, baths, square footage. Okay, this is the video with the cars we brought in. They were from my luxury networking group. It didn't cost me anything. Again, highlight the best features. There's no rule of thumb that says you got to videotape everything of the house. I was selling a house once where the best feature was the lower level. So I showed, look at this house. I showed the location. See that Porsche there? I borrowed the owner's Porsche in the video. I didn't even know how to open the mirrors. Watch this next scene. The mirrors are closed. But good is good enough. I was selling a home like Ricky Schroeder from Silver Spoons had a train. The previous agent, this is a taxidermist home. Hold on first. Plan B, you gotta always have, she was wearing a skirt, so I had to lean back. You gotta always think of all the scenarios. But in all honesty, we had a Range Rover we were gonna pull up, and that white bug didn't start. It was the owner's bug, so we had to ad lib, and the 2 buyers came out of that car that wouldn't start. So you gotta always have a plan B and C and a D. We actually took our networking group around the train. It tipped over, no one got hurt, thank goodness. This was my first drone video ever. It's Blair Witch Project-ish, but it's still better than your competition, right? This was in 2002. I was selling a home that had a Twister-themed bathroom. I brought in the Twister game. A true story, the previous agents didn't advertise it for good reason, right? 999 out of 1,000 buyers. There's the garage. Watch this. This has nothing to do with the house, but it's kind of cool. It's just different. So look at opportunities to be memorable, to get your consumers' attention. There's me and my boys. You'll notice fans are on, fireplaces are lit. These are all tips with videos. With still photos, you don't want fans on, okay? But there's a company out there, you should all visit them, boxbrownie.com. Okay? Use the code LUXURY if you don't have an account, and you get $40 free. Here, I was selling a home and it had a barn. Barns are popular in HGTV. The owner provided me with footage, and we incorporated that into the video. Sellers love that. They love when you sit down with them and ask them, why did you move here, and what are the best features? Like David Letterman's top 10. What are the top 10 reasons someone's gonna love this home? I borrowed my kid's monster truck in this video. Look at these. There's the monster truck. My kid wanted to know where it was. So you have to do those types of things. I was selling that home with the Twister-themed bathroom that was near Wrigley Field. So I told my video guy, again, are human beings lazy by nature, yes or no? Yes. I told him, you got to get in the car, and you got to go by Wrigley Field, and you got to You're not just taking photos and videos of the house. You have to do the job for them. You got to paint the picture. Okay, this house is in Evanston, Illinois, where Northwestern plays. I strategically filmed this on a Saturday at their opening game because they were playing Stanford, because I wanted the stadium incorporated. Okay, so you have to think about the best features of the location. Okay, now, Mike, did you get a disclosure from that guy in the boat? Did you get permission from that guy in the wave runner? No! If you get close-ups of their face, you can't do that. But if it's from a distance and it's like a figurine, I don't know who that guy was. So these are all examples. But this is where the magic happens, whether it be your foundation, whether it be your blueprint, whether it be videos, whether it be sitting down with the client. I promise you, if you step out of your comfort zone and add more high-end and luxury, you're not going to regret it. You're not going to regret it. I love proving others wrong. I love when people say, you can't do that. This is in my office. It's on the back of my book. I love it. I guarantee I can work with everyone in this room and figure out something. I don't care if Moses just he was a plumber all his life and is day one on his real estate. I can take that experience and mold it and differentiate. You all have something special. Your story is special. Most people don't leverage it. My name is Michael LaFido. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to stick around, okay? Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.